Hi, this is Melanie at Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of Neelavelicham, starring Tovino Thomas and Roshan Mathew. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. So I knew nothing about this movie going in other than it had Tovino Thomas. And so it's recently come on Amazon Prime here in the States. I was not able to catch it in the theater. And my friend Catherine, who you've seen on this channel before, was really excited about trying to be able to see it. So I thought, okay, this is one that I need to definitely check out. So the cast has Tovino Thomas playing a writer, and he rents what the surrounding neighbors described as a haunted house. There's some flashback scenes where we see Rima, Kallingal, and Roshan Mathew playing the ill-fated lovers from the past. And then Shine Tom Chacko plays our villain. While I was watching it, I was like, has this man ever done a movie where he is not the villain? I mean, some people have resting bitch face. He has resting villain face. I'm sorry, he just makes such a great villain. He just gives these villain vibes just without even saying a word. Anyway, if anyone knows of a movie where he's completely sweet, I would love to know about it. Put it in the comments below. All right, because I think just about everything I've seen him in, he's a villain. Anyway, so this is based on a famous short story by Vaikom Muhammad Basheer. I had no clue until I researched after the film that it was a remake of a film from 1964, and the writer of the short story wrote the screenplay for that film. From some reviews that I read in the Indian press, in some ways they were criticizing it as being too faithful a remake of the 1964 original film. And I will say it felt old-timey to me, like just the pace, slow languid pace of it. I don't know, just the setup of I thought it was a good framing. It's like you have this writer who comes in and wants to know the story of his house. He's not afraid of it being a haunted house or a ghost. He's not afraid at all. In fact, once he finds out who the young woman who supposedly committed suicide by jumping in the well, that her name is Bhargavi, he goes around having conversations with her. Bhargavi Kuti, he's addressing her and having this sort of conversation, and then supernatural things happen where she points him to things in the house that will reveal more about her story. And then that's the story that he wants to write. So we have a flashback sequence where Rima Kallingal, who I think is new to me, if I'm wrong and I've seen her in something else, please let me know in the comments. Absolutely beautiful. And Roshan Mathew, I love the period look of him. He's sort of nerdy with glasses and and I love I'm not sure that I've seen Tovino Thomas in a period film like this as well. So just their looks alone worth the price of admission. Anyway, so evidently the original film is so famous that any kind of old haunted-looking mansion is called a Bhargavi Nilayam, which is the name of the original film. Now, this film, I think, is Neelavelicham means Blue Radiance. So what they didn't have in 1964 is the special effects that when a ghost appears, Tovino's character sees this, bluish glowing, so that's something that they didn't have. So if you've seen the original film, I can't answer that question. Was it too faithful a remake? Let me know what you thought. If you're familiar with the original film, people that were arguing, the original film was so great, there's no need for a remake. Okay, you know what? It's been 60 years. I was completely unfamiliar with this story. This is a great ghost story. I, was interested in learning more about it. Maybe I will someday see the original film. So young people in Kerala are also probably not extremely familiar with the original 1964 film. So I think it's worth making a remake. Whether the pacing could have been different, especially in the middle when we had some song sequences. I felt like it got a little too slow. But I just loved hats off to the cinematographer. I loved the look of it. Beautiful. Even my husband walking through the room was like, wow, that is such a pretty location. Where is that? It was just gorgeous. Anyway, so I enjoyed, especially there's a dance performance in the middle of the movie that I really enjoyed. I mean, it's old-fashioned, and that evidently, was of the time of having these love stories where the lovers are, in neighboring estates and talk to each other through a stone wall and whatever. So the original film, I guess, was iconic for showing some of those kind of, that kind of a love story. It's all new to me, so I enjoyed it very much. I do wish I could have seen it in a theater, and just that the soundscape of it, this was more of a jump scare and a creepy vibe and, creepy sounds kind of a movie. And it would have been a very different experience in a movie theater versus just in my living room with just an okay sound system, right? But since we don't have that, like I said, here in the States, it's on Prime Video. So I don't know if that's where it is in India as well. Aashiq Abu was the director of this film, but the screenplay, like I said, the original screenplay was Basheer, and then it was adapted by Hrishikesh Bhaskaran. So the other interesting thing is that this film was supposed to go forward, and then the pandemic disrupted filming, and almost the entire cast had to be recast because of scheduling difficulties. So the original cast, Prithviraj was going to be the Tovino Thomas role, Prithviraj and his creepy horror films. Chacko Boban would have been the Roshan Mathew part, and then I believe Sabun Shahir would have been the Shine Tom Chacko. So it's interesting, they had to completely change the male cast. I enjoyed seeing Tovino Thomas and Roshan Mathew in something different. So not that I don't love Prithviraj and Chacko, but it was something fresh for these actors for me, and so I enjoyed that. So let me know what you thought about this movie. If you've had a chance to see it, in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Follow me on Instagram at Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer action or film review.